Hello and welcome to this week's episode of The Good, The Bad and The Ugly in MFL. As you can see, it's me hosting again this week, but there's plenty of good people lined up in the future that are going to be doing this show. I'll introduce everybody, then I'll be passing it across to BigMrK, who's done an agenda and everything. We're so professional now. But Hamez turned up dead on 8 o'clock. Perfect timing. But it's going to be fun when he starts streaming himself, trying to work out how to get everything live. But anyway, without further ado, we are joined this week, or I'm joined this week, or BigMrK is joined this. We're all joined this week by the dog, Hamez, who's just got up. Looks like he's put his onesie on to sit back and relax until we start talking about crosses. That's when his ears prick up and start talking.
Just like to clarify, I didn't bring it up, so
the stream is on.
Yeah. I didn't bring it up, so I can't talk about it because I didn't bring it up. Yeah, that's how this works.
Is that the rule?
Someone else brought it up. Yeah.
We're joined as always by Bob, and this week we have 2/3 of Yorkshire TNXP. We have Bruce himself, and that is everybody. So without further ado, we'll take it across to BigMrK, and he's going to be introducing like all of the professional stuff that we're just going to be speaking about this week.
Did we introduce Kev or did we gloss over Kev? I don't know if I picked
up. Just
make it short. I just thought for a second there, I thought Kev had just completely been overlooked. But yeah, just thought I'd kick off with that one. Thanks, mate. So yeah, as you may have heard, we have an agenda for this week. Had a bit of a think about what happened on last week's show because I tuned in last week and stuff. I was sat there waiting for my invite, and then you went live, and I messaged Kev, and I went, "So I'm not needed then, no? Yeah, I'm good, cool. I'll just sadly put my mic away and stuff now, then, and turn my camera off. That's fine. but you've kindly invited me on this week, so thanks for having us. So yeah, I had a bit of a think about what you've been trying to do with this sort of podcast. Because it was definitely interesting last week. And obviously we've got no games today, sadly. I think it would have been awesome to be able to look to especially some diamond games and stuff and talk about some of the things you guys were discussing last week. So for the viewers' benefit, because obviously I've shared this with you guys now, I've put an agenda together of a few things I thought we'd cover the fact that we've just almost concluded the mid-season break. We've had the pat drop, we've had the transfer window, maybe a quick just round the room, what people have got up to, if anybody had a bit of a pop at the pat drop and brought anybody in for the mid-season break. I wanted to have a bit of a formation discussion, put together a bit of a formation court where I want to get your takes on best formations in this current engine version from your testing and what you think works. I've got a truth or myth engine theory section as well, which I reached out to the Yorkshire TNXP community, and I had some corkers be put out there as to let Kev put on his tinfoil hat at some point, because I know he likes to brandish it every time he gets an opportunity. Rounding off with the closing question about the future of this season's engine and what we want to see going forward. And the point 6 on the agenda is why Hamez is a dick, which I'm happy for us to cover. It might have been reworded. To be fair, Hamez, for total transparency, Hoodwink apparently has been having a few beers today. He got access to this particular document, and I do believe there's a bit of debauchery taking place after Hoodwink had access. So I think he's prologuing your beef. I don't know how it all stemmed from something, but apparently he fell out with Hoodwink.
I think Hamez was praying that Hoodwink's players retired. Which feels like
I didn't wish to retire. I just wished everyone else a happy rollover day.
So point 6 we might not come on to if I'm honest, Hamez, but yeah, Hoodwink's on it was a few pints deep and he did have access to the document, so apologies for that one. Do we need to have ground rules? I mean, we discussed whether we should have some ground rules, like should we allow people to talk about long ball or crossing or direct, or
we should allow everybody except Hamez to talk about that.
Seems a bit mean because this is your baby of an idea.
What have you done with Mr. K?
Well, I'm trying to be kind. I don't want to just pile on Hamez for the sake of it because it's 5-on-1. It seems a bit mean. And as Hamez had pointed out earlier, he didn't bring it up initially. So we've kind of opened the floor for that one. But yeah.
Sorry.
I think
That's
what
right.
we'll do. Go ahead.
People can't see how we're set up because I think it's different in the actual like video recording. But I can either start speaking and then pass it always over to David, or and then like Mr. K can always pass it over to Bruce, because then we're flinging it from one side of the call to the other. So I won't be bringing up one balls.
Excellent. I like to see what you're doing there. You're doing a bit of a tactic, like a crossfield switch on the stream. I see what you're going for now. I had no idea where you were going with that at all. I had no idea.
It's like on the stream, it's me and Bruce. So I'll just keep passing over to Bruce, and it's from the right hand side to the left hand side. Yeah.
Cool. Right. Well, apparently on the stream I'm playing in the middle, so my formation sucks because that's apparently what happened with the season's engine. So mid-season check-in then, chaps. Obviously, pack drops has taken place. We've had the transfer window being open, chance to sign 3 more players or bin off 3 more players. So just wanted to sort of get a bit of a feel from around the room who took part in pack drop. Anybody, many interesting transfers, any changes for the second half of the season? Because we all know the engine changes. So what have we, any business been done?
All my business has been done for next season, really, already.
Nice.
Buying players for next season because no one will release them mid-season. Although one person said they'll release them as long as I give them somebody at a similar level, which it's like, no, I need them because I need them at that level. I can give you someone, but they'll be shy.
Yeah. We weren't able to sort out a deal because I realised when you were sort of, would you release this guy? And I was like, oh yeah, let me have a look. I went, shit. I've accidentally signed a 42 rated comment that I got in a random kickoff pack yesterday to the bronze team, and then I've used up now all 3 transfer slots. And I was like, oh, fuck. I could have made a sale then, but yeah, balls it up. So I don't know how I've done that, but what was getting late when I was sorting this out last night. All the people are packed. Anybody else then? Any recruitment? Any tactical switches going into the second half of the season?
A few cheeky packs, nothing crazy. A couple of limiteds and kickoffs.
Anything interesting?
17-year-old left back, 59 rated, straight into dev jail. That was about it.
Nice age.
Yeah.
Ukrainian, yeah. Just never get enough left backs, I suppose. There you go.
How about you, Hamez? Did you get involved with pack drop? Have you made any transfers for this mid-season break?
Nope. The
Nothing.
pack drop happens. The pack drop happens when I was at the gym, so the gym takes priority. And yeah, I want to struggle for the next 3 seasons or the next 3 weeks because
Just
Which words are you trying to say?
someone else want to fill it in.
because you're not a very good manager.
Wait, I've got a screenshot, David, of a game we played. Because don't worry, if I've got 2 other screenshots if other people want to bring up matches we've played this season, so it's fine. But they didn't bring. Mr. K was nice and didn't want to say much because I were 2 gold teams I won in that match, and the other one is I will accept because I was told that the iron team was going to be weaker coming into the season, so that was expected.
It was a 4-3-3 attack from what I remember as well. You ran. I'm sure it was a 4-3-3 attack you ran against us, and it didn't pan out for my team at all. It did not work. Yeah. But hey ho. How about you, Bob? Anything interesting for Iron Pigs going into second half of the season? Any changes?
Formation stayed the same, but I did take one of Hamez's best players from his gold team, so that happened.
Thank you for
that. Yep. I took his 93 left back because I want to have coverage back there.
Fair.
And I gave him an 89 left back to replace him in gold that is retiring. So he's got like maybe 4 games max left for the season, but Hamez is good with the rotation. He should be fine. So
yeah, it'll be the sub left back.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And I suppose that's the benefit of that delegation system, because I woke up to emails at like 3 a.m. telling me like, "Oh, my transfer request has been accepted." And I was like, well, I didn't send one, but your contract like cancellation was accepted. And I went, I didn't do that either, but yeah, it was all done whilst I was asleep.
Yeah,
So
Chairman
that's actually been fun with this. The staff stuff. It's been interesting because Brian, is managing a bronze team, and he messaged me. He said, "Hey, are you okay if I take these 3 guys from your iron team?" And he's like, "But you're in first place. Like, are you okay with that?" I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely. The whole point of this is to give you the best players that you have." So I gave him 3 better players. He dumped 3 players on me there. So it's just like this is what I've been doing, just kind of pushing them through. I didn't do any packs or anything like that. I've stopped buying packs at this point because, as we've talked about on many of these shows, like if I get an 82 keeper, he's just going in dev jail anyway. So it's not a good use of resources for me at this point. And the only other thing that I'm doing right now is that in our group chats, Hamez and Kev and Sid and Brian, they're really good at identifying up and coming players to bring in for the next season. And so I'm just watching it, and they're putting these players in there, and then I'm immediately going behind their back and DMing the people and trying to make deals for them. So
that works. Insider trading, I like it. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. I'm getting to that point with packs, to be fair. I've got that many players. I know I've got a lot of teams, but I've got that many players now. I mean, I did tell myself this before the pack drop yesterday and bought one of every pack. But next time, I won't be buying all the packs. That's the plan. How about yourself, Bruce? Any transfer activity, pack drop?
Pack drop, I just got a limited and a kickoff. 4 new players for the dev center. Nothing special. Transfers, just in a couple of the lower teams, switched a couple of players around so I could switch formations. But yeah, not had to do anything else. And by the looks of it, I don't have to do anything next season either, because I've entered into a partnership with. I mean, I don't think they'll. I don't know if they'll want me talking about it, so I'll work for now. But I entered into a partnership with 2 other agencies.
Nice.
Which means I don't have to buy players now next season. So, so that should be fun. But nothing in the mid-season, really, just a couple of lottery tickets.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I talked to Narpod last week of sort of doing a bit of work with Dio this season and stuff. And the plat team are running for him now. I just reached out to him and said, look, this is where I'm at. This is how it's going. I'm a bit short in this position. And he was like, would this guy do? And I was like, yeah, that'd be grand. So he's just moved an extra body into the team to give me more flexibility, so I can run more than 2 formations really on the regular now. So that'll be good going forward. But yeah, as I say, the pack bug got me yesterday. I was sat there at 5 to 10 like, no, I don't need to get. I might get a kickoff. I might do that. Then I had a tab open for everything and bought one of everything, and afterwards immediately regretted it. But lots of young players, lots of dev jail, and then it's just been shuffling players around across all the squads where needed. No major overhauls, but I know a lot of people were looking for centre mids, left mids, right mids, and there weren't many free agents on the markets for those. And if they were very pricey for what they were, is what I was noticing. So,
and then good out of the rare pack? Or packs in general? Anything good?
No. Just lots of young players, basically. A lot of young players. If I recall my rare pack, what did I get now? He was incredibly disappointing.
That's good.
He's a 26-year-old left back who's 78 rated.
Oh,
I really needed that for one of my stone teams. Not. So, it's an extra body. It's just like after it's one of those things. Afterwards, you go, "Oh, I wish I hadn't done that." But it's just the temptation, man. It's just the temptation. But yeah, you have to let us know, Bruce, if and when you're able to talk about this partnership idea, because you've got my interest peaked now.
Yeah, I just don't want to doubt in case because it's only just early. But it's basically the 2 biggest whales in fucking MFL.
Well, we'll never guess that then. No idea.
But, yeah, so they want to concentrate on Diamond, and they don't want to have to deal with their second-tier teams or players and stuff. And it's much easier if we enter into like a 3. Like I get to manage high-level teams with high-level players. They get their teams looked after and rev share from that, and they could just focus on Diamond then. So. Yeah, it's very beneficial, and expect Black Mamba in a couple of seasons, I reckon. Give it a couple of seasons.
Never know. Yeah. Coming on to the club staff thing, just because it's obviously come up, and you were saying, Bob, how it's been really interesting this season with it, because I've really enjoyed that side of things. Do you reckon they're going to expand upon that? Because at the moment, it's capped to like 3. You can only be staff member on 3 different clubs. Do you think they'll think about expanding that going into next season, do you reckon?
I mean, I would assume so. This is a pretty controlled test run of it. And you're trying to find exploits. You're trying to find how people are taking advantage of things. You're trying to see if it works, and so far, so good. to your point, I'm loving it. I mean, I don't think people understand enough how much focus you will want to spend on your top team. And I think that having too many hands on the pie, and too many things going on really distracts. And I found that at one point when I think it was probably like 7 or 8 seasons ago, I was managing BFC Manchester, and I had come in second place, and like we were trying to push to diamond, and then the next season just couldn't win a game. Like engine and stuff like that, I was like, I can't do this right now because I had Manchester, and then I had another plat team with Seoul at that point, and it was way too much time and focus on both of them. And when you are at that level, your own team tends to take priority, even though you're working for a collective, right? And it was at that point that I gave it to somebody else because I just didn't have the bandwidth and the focus, the mental focus, because unfortunately I still have a job I have to do and things I need to take care of at the house. I can't just neglect everything. So yeah, I think it's great. I'm curious to see how they expand it. I'd love to have more because I have so many cards out on loan right now that full Spark and Ice and Flint teams are filled with my cards. Like Andy Official loans like 90% of my guys from me and fills like 4 teams at the lower levels. I'm like, okay, this is cool. Like, no problem there. But I'd love to be able to see them pop up on my club selection so I can actually see when their games are going so I can watch them watch my players.
Yeah.
You know what I love about it? What I really love about it? Like, I've delegated out my bottom 3 teams because last season I was skipping through the games. Like, honestly, at that level, like, not to sound like a dick, but it's too easy. I don't really care, like, at that level. So I delegated them out. Every single game I'm watching, like, of these lower teams, I'm not in control of it. I don't have to worry about tactics, but it's fun to just, they're playing, I'm going to watch the game. And I'm watching the games live, when last season I was just skipping through, like, yeah, whatever. But yeah, this season I'm, like, really invested in how they do, and I'm not even doing any of the tactics. It's an element that I really enjoy. I really like it. It's a lot of fun.
I mean, I've enjoyed it a lot because, like, last season I delegated out sort of unofficially 8 or 9 clubs and ran about 28, 29 on my own over the course of the season, and it was just robotic. It was just monotonous, just rotate. I didn't enjoy the games. I wasn't bothered. I've loved it this season, just being able to go through every couple of days, review how teams are getting on, who's performing well, what they're doing well. Actually dropped an uncommon player in one of the, I think it was Spark team that's doing really well and doing well in the cup and stuff. So I had one spare, and I thought, I'll drop it in as a reinforcement for him because he's doing a good job. Let's drop him in there. And also, I like seeing the tactics that are set up as default for all these clubs because I get to see so many different people's takes on how they're approaching the game and different formations and their takes on that. And it's interesting, just really getting another side of it. And every so often I've looked at one and gone, that's interesting. And just ran a friendly with that default setup to see how it works. Because some of them are a bit out there compared to what I've got set up. I mean, Kev, I know you've got one of mine, haven't you? I don't think you've got any delegate out yourself as like the owner, do you?
Well, just the Ramble.
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
But yeah, community team, so I don't own it. But yeah, White Rose Falcons, I'm running for you. So that's been fun. I've just filled in all my shitters, basically. So
yeah.
And yeah, just kids I want to develop. So yeah, we're through in the cup as well. So
nice. David, are you delegating any clubs? I think you just manage your own, don't you? Because you've got quite a few now.
Yeah. No, I've only got 12, and then I've got one that's been farmed into me from Dan LFC. But,
yeah.
No, I'm quite happy looking after that many. It's not really a problem. But as Bruce said, like I do tend to skip over the lower teams, like anything that, until we get up to sort of maybe stone or start to take a bit more of an interest in. But normally it's when it gets to like bronze higher that I sort of pay a bit more attention to the games.
Yeah. How about you?
I still like doing the rotations and everything.
Yeah.
I think I've got three in this year. Like one I own the team because Bob just sends me the team and thinks like, oh no, yeah, I used to do that. Now I think I'm staff, or is Bob staff and I'm not staff. Well, one of the ways. And then I've got Trust's Edinburgh team again because the Edinburgh tag. But he gave me like this standard 15, and I was like, I don't actually want anything. Like last season, I gave you 99.5% of the rev. I just want the Edinburgh tag because Edinburgh tags don't come up very often.
Mm-hmm.
like if I've watched the club marketplace enough times that they just don't come up very often. Like you're very rarely getting an Edinburgh one. And I'm now doing Big Will's Hamburg. Is it Hamburg Berlin or some bronze team from Big Will for the second half of the season? So
it sounds.
we'll see how that goes. But I mean, I think I'm maybe different to you guys. I think I want to keep it at 3 and improve it before upping it to 5, because
That's
there's still a few things that, as you say, with the tactics, like you can't see what tactics I have, and like unless they're saved as default, or because it would be quite like, I don't know if it can. I haven't tried it, but like can me and Bob tweak tactics at like the same time? So if I tweak something and he doesn't like, and then I save it, and then can he see that and then he tweak it, save it, and I see it as like thing, like, or is it not that quick?
You can if it's the default.
Yeah. If you say
so that'd just be a lot of that'd just have to be a lot of being careful not to override or
because I've been,
but it's more like
on you go.
I don't know, like the main one's more like if I get 50% from, say Bob gives me 50% for Castle, and then I sign folk on 2-3%, it's not from my 50% I'm given. And I feel like that, like you have to either know the people you're giving it to, like either it's like someone in the community that we know really well, or you've had on the podcast, or it's someone in real life that you can somewhat trust. Because you can give 20% to someone thinking like that's fine, and then you can go to bed, you can wake up, and then you find out that there's 5 more commons have been signed for 10% each, and your 20%'s gone up. You've now given away 70% to someone who then doesn't have to do anything because they've got the 70% guaranteed. And it's like that way it could get it. Like there's a lot of ways that you'd have to be quite careful with it before,
just
upping it to
but
just
like
like
clear guidelines is what I would say. Big Will did that yesterday. We've got a new user that joined, and I've been helping him. And Big Will delegated in my club, which was really nice of him. Gave him, I think, 10% rev share and said he could spend 15% on top of that. So yeah, it's just being clear about it, isn't it?
Yeah, but then does that not also come with the fact that you're in like the third man in that situation, so he can somewhat trust you, and it's not Big Will's not just message someone out the blue saying you can spend upwards like up. That's all.
No, kind of. Is out the blue for Big Will. I endorsed him, but I'm not staff on the club because I've got the max.
No, but because you said you're helping him, he's kind of got that level of trust. Whereas it's not like some random's just gone.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I've spoke to quite a few people because obviously I do a lot of the delegating of clubs out. And I think at the moment there's quite a few parameters to sort of protect the owner and protect the person you sign off as staff. So if I've given you a club, Hamez, or I've given Kev a club, if I decide to bin him off today, Kev's rev share, if he had one, because he's taking it on 0% because he would want some of his own players. But if I had given him one, it's protected. If I sack him, he gets the payout. If Kev decides to leave, he's vetoing it, it goes out the window. But like you're saying, if I want to trust, I've been trusting the managers to sign my players to the side of mine, maybe signing some of theirs, but I'm trusting they're going to honour the guidance that I've given them. But if they choose not to, my options are tell them not to or sack them. Those are the 2 options that I've got. I haven't got any other remits. So I think, I know Jimbo was posting some ideas and Ricky Hyde was the other day in chats where we were talking about this. I like the idea of expanding it a bit further, but at the same time, I think there just needs to be maybe a few more additions, just protections, both for staff and owners. But in trying to work all these different bits and pieces out, it's just trying to find that happy medium where it doesn't become too bloody tedious trying to do all the thing.
See, just to jump in there and think of it from both sides. So I would love the option to have more than 3 clubs delegated. But if you're MFL looking at it from a commercial perspective, if they delegate, say, 10 clubs to each user, that's less players buying clubs, buying players.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure they will expand it.
No. I mean, I like the idea of them potentially doing so, but I can also see that angle as well. But they're still selling that pack drops, so that's one source of income and stuff. So there is that.
Yeah.
But the next bit I wanted to come on to anyway, chaps, is we had an update to the match engine. We were on, let me get the numbers right here. We were on 15.0.3 /909. and then we went to 15.0.4. What was it? A couple of days before the mid-season break?
Yeah.
Something like that. And I know, Kev, you and I were chatting about this. Some people have also said, oh, the engine seems a bit better now. I'm getting a bit more joy out of these sorts of things. Has anyone noticed any differences since that change in any capacity whatsoever?
Gameplay wise, not so much, but formation wise, yeah, as in the formational matchups. But it's a small sample size, so it's hard to kind of fully know yet. But instantly, I've seen 2 or 3 formations that aren't working as well. That were pre-patch, and it's big changes there.
Well, on that, because I know you were sort of talking about that, Kev, and I run loads of different formations as part of my punishment for this season for not getting Yorkshire Teen XP's community team promoted last season. So like all my teams have to run a different formation. I think it was your idea, actually, Hamez, that one.
You're welcome, because it's actually benefiting you.
It's been great. I've loved it. It was a pain in the ass setting up, but I've had loads of fun with it. But I've noticed some of them started to tail off a little bit, and it variance and some of the teams how they're strong. All those other bits into the mix. 1 second. Shush. Yes, you. Yes, you.
That's you, Hamez, not the dog.
He was giving engine insights.
Yes.
Engine insights.
For context, tiny little dog being a pain in the ass. Shush. Yes, you. Anyway.
It wants camera time, you see.
He does want camera time, but we're not doing that. No, you're not doing that. Anyway, back to the content. I went and lifted all the data from MFL Coach on both the 0.31 and the latest 0.4, and just sort of said, okay, let's just crunch the numbers and then compare the two and see if there's any sort of discrepancies between the two sets of data. Because what I want to do, once I've just sort of given you this bit of data dump, as it were, is I want to go through some of the more popular formations, because I've got a list of those listed out in front of me, and get your guys' takes on what you think can go in the good bucket, the bad bucket, and the ugly bucket. The good being very strong in the current engine. The bad being, well, okay, but possibly flawed. There's a few issues with it. And ugly being, you just don't think it works well in this current engine as a whole. So we can sort of just get people's takes on these things. We don't have to do everyone. You just give your general sentiments and feedbacks, because I know a lot of people run different things here. But from the data of what I saw, was that the sort of core meta, as it were, the most high-performing formations remain quite stable. So the formations that stayed near the top in the previous version still did particularly well. They were 4-1-3-2, 4-4-2, and 5-3-2, because they had win rates around 40 to 45% sort of range in terms of those things. What it did pick up is single striker formations. Those systems seem to improve as well. So formations like the 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1, and the 4-1-4-1 saw noticeable improvements in terms of win rates. They were going up on average about 5% improvement in win rates. I will add that the first sample sizes are just over, I think it was just shy of 9,000 matches on the 0.3 engine, whereas on the 0.4 engine, it had like 12,000 matches. But anyway, in terms across the board, some of the more narrow formations and systems started to decline. Formations such as the 4-3-1-2, which I found interesting, and the 4-4-2-B dropped in terms of engine. The 4-3-1-2, for example, had a negative 5.7% drop in win rate, and the 4-4-2-B dropped by 6.4%, because that's the one I noticed, because I was having loads of success with it, and it just seemed to tail off out of nowhere. So it's not like the massive swings, but there does seem to be a little bit of alignment. And I know David said we were going live and stuff, Bob, you were talking about sort of this tweaks to an engine. What's the knock-on effect, like the domino effect, as it were. And I think we say this every time we get to the second half of the season, or around this time we go, feels a bit different. So what's people's takes on this new version of the engine? Because you might be running the same setup. I know, David, you like your 4-3-3-D, but are you noticing any changes across the board?
Not really. I mean, I've been testing a couple of formations on top of that, just because it still works. I mean, I got 10 out of 13 clubs through out of the groups in the cup, so
different engine.
It can't be that bad, if I'm doing okay with it. But there are a couple of other formations. One that I've been speaking to Kev about a bit over the last couple of days that I've sort of been testing, and I don't know whether I'm going to sort of like go with it, but I definitely will be testing it in some of the lower teams and see whether I can sort of, rattle off But yeah, no, that was quite fun. The only thing I found about 433D this season is that it just doesn't create that much sometimes. And I guess it depends on who you're playing and how they've got the team set up. That, if you're playing somebody who's sitting back and you're sitting back as well, then, obviously it's going to be a fairly boring match. Whereas, if you push your lineup a little bit, then you start to create more chances. So, yeah, I've found that the defensive line can make massive differences this engine, even more so than previous engines.
100%. I agree with that.
Yeah. I think the biggest impact change that I've had in terms of team instructions is team compactness. This engine, I found that to be very effective in terms of making tweaks to that from game to game. I found that to be arguably more effective than the team line, defensive line, sort of starting position. That's what I found to be most effective this season.
In terms of stopping crosses, the only way I found to stop crosses was have like a really narrow line, and then there was no space in the middle.
Yeah,
the crosses were still coming in, but the strikers were just getting block shots all the time.
Exactly the conclusion I arrived at. I can't stop the cross, but I could do something about it when it gets in the box.
Great minds.
Try and nullify that. That's exactly where I arrived at. So I tried everything I could think of to try and stop crosses. And they're coming in regardless. Even if it's a centre-back getting the cross across from 70 yards away, they're getting it in the box. So what are you going to do about it after that point?
But when you're super narrow, it's boring as the matches can get a bit boring.
Yeah, definitely. So, I've also been noticing people doing testing. Some of the Diamond managers doing testing over the last sort of 24 hours or so. And one thing I did notice was I know it's defaulted, so you don't know how good they are, but like 4-3-1-2s didn't seem to be performing as well as I'd seen previously. It's still not a bad setup by any stretch, but it does seem like potentially people have found a few workarounds now to it.
Yeah.
But going on to the formations. Go ahead, Kev.
No, I was just going to say that's one of the more noticeable nerfs, if you want to call it that. Just the 4-3-1-2, because I think it was Ricky Hyde that messaged me the other day, and he said pre-patch the 4-3-1-2, the three centre mids would act as wide mids. So they would, especially depending on how wide you set up the formation. So they would just cross the ball from wide as centre mids. But post-patch, that's not really happening so much anymore. So I don't know if people are finding more counters to it or if there has actually been a gameplay change. I haven't really fully analysed that, but
the thing is that we've had this patch, and they say that it just fixes a couple of bugs. So I know, Kev, you've got your theories on it as well, but I don't know. I don't know whether it does make changes or whether people just tweak with settings and suddenly people are improving, so results go downhill. But what do you think, Kev?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, it is just a theory at the moment because it's quite a small sample size as well, I think, for certain formations. And there's no saying there has been a gameplay change. It's maybe variants. It's maybe people are finding counters to it. So, it could be a few things. But my point was just some formations aren't performing as well. And it'd be good to understand why,
Yeah. On that, I wanted to come on to sort of go randomly through a list of formations to get people's takes on them. I'm just going to sort of pick some out as we go through, because in terms of on the 15.0.4 version of the engine, the current one, anybody who likes to have a guess which formation has been tested the most and or used the most? Because I was surprised by it.
4-3-3-D.
Nope.
No?
Nope.
4-4-2.
Nope. I'll do one more guess, otherwise we'll be all bloody night. But one more guess.
4-1-3-2?
Nope. 4-3-3-A was the most tested with over 7,000 tests, apparently. 4-3-3-A was the most tested. 4-3-3-D came second, to be fair. It goes to 4-1-2-1-2, 4-4-2, 4-1-2-1-2 narrow. Won't go through them all. But if we just sort of pick some sort of the top, the middle, and the bottom in terms of generally how much they're being used, and maybe there's some sort of more sleeper sort of formations as they were, just generally get people's takes on these sorts of things and just go from there. So I'm going to start out with the one that's tougher on this because it's not a fan of mine. I've never liked it, but the 4-3-3-A. Is anyone an advocate of it or thinking it's effective in this engine?
There's one right here, yeah. One of the men in red.
Effective, maybe not.
This is yours, Hamez.
Entertaining, on the other hand, absolutely, because you have no idea what's going to happen. Who likes predictability?
That's one of the ones that are statistically performing better post-patch than it was pre-patch. So
I've not been on the I have not been on the like bar getting Big Will's team and running 3 games against myself. I have not been on like the game this whole mid-season. It is very much I enjoy the mid-season and the pre-season. Otherwise, it's just absolute chaos.
That's good then. So you're not fudging the numbers by running 500 friendlies or 4-3-3-A against a weaker team.
Rinse, repeat.
I mean, I could do it. That's the way to go. If I can get an auto clicker, I can just get that going overnight and just run against like one of my weaker ones. But no, like it's hard to kind of get focused because obviously for me at the moment all the games are so early morning. So like it's a lot more guesswork than it is sort of like double game days are horrendous. It's a lot of do I think they'll rotate in the cup? Well, no. So we then gamble that they rotate in the league rather than seeing what they did in the cup, how they played, what they rotated, and making changes on that. I'm having to predict two games in advance, which is difficult for your everyone's like fitness, trying to guess, will my player lose 1, 2, 3? Can I squeeze out 2 games? Can I only do am I better dropping one, playing the other? So like double game days is sort of like a big headache, and the staff league is double game days every day, which is not ideal. But the second game's late enough that you can, if I'm up by 6:30, I can kind of get a grips of what's going on. But I mean, that's like still rather, and then that's before our clocks go back and everything becomes an hour sort of even earlier. So cup games will be at like 1:30 in the morning. League games will then be at 5:30. So
it sounds like you need to be more committed, Hamez, if I'm honest. You need to motivate yourself to get up and sort your teams out.
I'm looking forward to if we can have an Aussie friendly tournament. They'll say the World Cup, but instead of having it in the US, the MFL's at World Cups in Sydney. So we're just basing everything around Sydney time.
I'd have the commitment to get up in time to do it. It's fine. I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Yeah. I mean, go ahead. You'll say that. You'll say that now. You'll say that now, and then
I've got a 5-year-old. I'm up throughout the night, regardless, mate. So don't you worry about it. I'm well trained at the moment. We're toilet training, so in the night time. So I'm up all the bloody time. So I'm fine. I'm cool.
How old are you toilet training at your age?
I know. I'm getting there. I'm getting there, mate.
Yeah. That's why you did your Yorkshire tea episode with me, and you're sitting on a potty.
I don't remember that. Oh, that was after the After Dark episode. That's why I remember that.
Yeah,
you've got to get the pat drop money in somehow, mate. Next formation then, 4-1-3-2. I don't think it's ever been popular until this season, but is it any good, chaps?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Why?
11-0-0.
But why is it good?
Why is it good? It's good because the wide mids have become a threat. So in the past couple engines, the wide mids have just not been effective. And they've been more aggressive for, I don't know how they coded that in, but they've been very susceptible to cards in previous engines, which limits their effectiveness in there because they get a yellow card and then inevitably they get another red card. And they were actually closed down upon more. So there was a mix of a lot of different pieces going through with wingers being strong, with center mids being strong. And when center mids and you're attacking narrow, it's stronger, you're pushing out the wide mids. When this engine, we've seen that the center mids and the narrow formations just aren't as strong in general, scoring wise, which means that there is just a kind of secondhand nerf to effectiveness of those CMs. And when you don't have those CMs in the game as much, there's more space for your wide mids as well. And when you have more space for your wide mids, if you are playing them in the way I do at least, you're getting the ball to them, you're actually funneling your play through them, and you're freeing up space, which leaves your fullbacks, who are my best attacking options, wide open to hit those diagonal passes. So that's why it's not only are you're essentially nerfing the CMs, you're buffing the wide mids, but by buffing the wide mids, you are buffing the fullbacks as well.
Mm-hmm.
And this is kind of what we're talking about with engine changes. It's just there are incremental effects that are unintended consequences of changes to an engine that you don't plan for these things to happen. And what you end up seeing at the higher levels is that people like me really take advantage of them. We identify them, we know how to take advantage of them, and then we do. And I think one of the things that we don't recognize a lot is that not everybody will understand how to make that sort of setup happen in game. Like, what buttons do I click? What instructions do I click to make this happen for my teams? And that's taken a lot of time and practice to get in the right spot. So that's why I believe, at least, that they're better.
Yeah. I mean, I'm noticing, I happened to come across the 4-1-3-2 as part of that punishment. So I randomly put a team together. One of the Stone Clubs were like, fuck it, you could be a 4-1-3-2, you're crap, there you go. And the second in the league now, because I happen to have dropped on that formation. I've got rotations for it. Perfect. But that was a happy accident. But you're right, there's definitely a good way to set it up. And there's definitely a lot of bad ways to set it up.
Right. So, like, and you can't just look at the numbers and say, this is going to win. Like, you have to do specific things with it, because what I'm talking about, when you are involving your wide mids in that play and you're freeing up your fullbacks to play more, what ends up happening is that your one CM that's in the middle that you're usually more defensive with, he has more space too. And so as a result, until the 30-0 win against Sao Paulo the other day, my center mid, Shinarel, who I'm saying center mids are nerfed, was leading Diamond in assists, because all of that attention is going out to Letic and Lindemann on my left mids and my right mids, and my fullbacks are pushing, which is just freeing up a 97 CM just in the middle that's picking out Beckman and Turto. And like, so this is kind of what happens when people overcorrect one way, things come back the other way. And obviously at Diamond, it's a little bit different. All of the players are great. So you can't say this is going to work at stone for you, because they're just not built the same way. So that's what I'm seeing, at least. In this, for me, has been the best overall year that I've had, because I'm playing guys out of position too. Like, I don't have a CDM on my team. I'm playing a CB at CDM because he's got like 89 pace. So I'm going speed too. So like, these are the little things that you don't really recognize or look at when it comes right down and just think, oh, Bob's just killing people. But there are reasons, and kind of like how my team is set up to do so.
On that out of position piece, I'll save that for a bit later on with one of the segments I had planned if we get round to it. We'll see how we get over time. I know Ricky Hyde's been messaging you. Kevy's been messaging me about a few bits, because he likes to sort of do some data mining, look at the APIs and stuff like that. And he was sharing some stuff with me, and I was having a look. And there is a bit of theory crafting going on that there is the overall number. Excuse me a moment. Yes.
The dog clearly
honestly
disagrees.
Yeah, it's my girlfriend's dog. Honestly, he's a pain in the fucking ass. He wanted to come up, I picked him up. I wanted to put him down. He wants to go down. I put him down. He tells me off. Right.
Maybe he's
anyway.
Kev's cat.
You just have to tell Root, like, keep Root in his place and give him like a chewy toy, and he'll be
down,
fine.
Bitch. Yes, Root, stay. I'll remember that for the stream, the podcast this week. Where was I? I've completely lost my train of thought now. Yeah, Ricky was looking at numbers and stuff, and when players are out of position, you get that the overall number drops, and you get these penalties across. From studying the API is not showing that. It shows that their overall number that they get given goes, but the stats don't go down. And same with the captain, that the captain's overall goes up, and the rest of the team get the bonuses, but seemingly the captain doesn't, based on the API numbers and what we're seeing. It's very hard to prove, and we're sort of theory crafting with it at the moment, but that's what we're finding with the API stuff. Because when he shared it with me, I was familiar because I was looking at using it a different way previously, to look and study and see if I could work out people's tactics and stuff using the APIs. So whether that's some sort of consequence, but I know, Kev, you messaged me early in the season when we were chatting, and you were saying, I'm pretty sure I've noticed every time I captain someone, they're crap.
Yeah.
Might be a bit biased.
Yeah. I wonder if your theory is true there, because as you say, I'd messaged you ages ago about that. I still see it. I still see issues with the captain. And I haven't really spoken about it before, but that's because I wasn't sure. You know, I thought it was maybe just a string of bad results, and it just happened to fall that way. But
I was testing it, Kev, when testing tactics, because like 50% of the games, I won't pick a captain, and they perform really well, like the general team. Start picking a captain, start noticing on the average they were underperforming how they were performing previously, because I wanted to contrast sample sizes. I mean, at the out of position one, I mean, I think Bruce, you shared an example of a game that you'd had. You're like, what the hell? This result? Because they had a cam that was what rated? He was some sort of silly rated.
15. It was a centre back.
Centre back.
Yeah, playing at camp. Yeah.
This dog really does not agree.
He got an assist apparently.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. So yeah, interesting ones on those. Next formation. Try and move this along a bit quicker now. 4-4-2 seems popular this season.
I love it.
Thoughts? Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's really, really strong. It just suits the whole wide mid back meta. It's perfect for it. You know.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. There's a meta within the meta. So fullbacks, wide mids, 2 strikers. If you've got that, you're ticking all the boxes, you know. That's why it's 5-3-2, 4-4-2, 4-1-3-2, you know. Wide mids, fullbacks, strikers.
Yeah. There's a certain managers at those are higher leagues where I am involved that run 4-4-2 diligently, and I hate playing against them.
Yeah.
I find it a horrible formation to try and overcome, especially when they really lead into it and they know what they're doing with it. I hate it. It's one of those formations I don't like coming up against. Let's go.
Sorry,
go ahead.
I jumped in there. What was Bruce? You were the way to speak about the 4-4-2, I think.
No, I was just saying. I think it's a really good, really strong. Fits like you said. Everything. It's got everything. It's got 2 strikers, fullbacks, wide mids. It's literally.
So I would have the
as well because of the block.
The formations would be in the good bin, but I would still stand at their method of play is in the ugly bin, because it's like what Bruce always moans about Arsenal is that like they're so set piece heavy, right? It's ugly, but it's really effective. Like it's not something you would. Yeah. So watching the games, the wide formations don't play pretty football, but my God, they're like, yeah. So it's like. It's like the formations are in the good bin, but the play style for most is in the ugly bin for me.
That I never cared about on MFL, because in real life football, I'm watching it for 90 minutes. In MFL, I'm watching it for a few minutes, depending on highlights and stuff. And if I score more than you, I'm happy. I don't care how they've got it. I've scored more than you. I'm happy man now, and that's all I'm bothered about, generally speaking.
Bob's 14 points clear of diamonds. I think he cares how it looks.
No. Do you think he watches the games? He's on the toilet with his head between his legs.
Watch the games now. I've won a title already, guys. It's not as stressful.
I was just going to query why your head was between your legs when you're in the toilet, to be honest. Fair enough.
Oh, man, my beef is strong.
The strain. Right. The one I wanted to come on to, because it's apparently it seemingly is no longer performing as well as it was. I'm going to mute myself after I ask this question. I'm just going to go the dog. Is 4-3-1-2, and I'll leave you to talk amongst yourself.
I prefer it to the 4-4-2 this season. I've never liked it aesthetically as a formation, but I do like it this season because of the DM. I prefer the DM over the 2 CMs. But what do you guys think?
Which
Bruce, you're a 4-4-2 manner, yeah.
The 4-3-1-2, the one Ronan's running.
So the
3 centre mids. That one. I thought he said 4-3-1-2.
No, the wide mids, 4-1-3-2.
Oh, the 4-1-3-2 is just, it's really bizarre. I don't see how it should work because there's such a big gap between the center mid and your strikers. You basically have there's like an island. There's just like it's like a massive ocean between your center mid and then your attacking guys. Like unless your center mid is really well rounded, which at the majority of my level isn't the case. Like I have one of my cams is 35 shooting. It's like you're not really a cam. Like. But that's why the current play style is so effective with that formation, because it gets rid of the issue of having the big wide ocean, because it's just sending planes over.
It was the 4-1-3-2 you said, BigMrK, was it?
4-3-1-2, yeah, that was the one I'd.
I was wrong. Right.
Yeah, it's all good. If you've covered another one, it's fine. We're going to wrap this up shortly.
Right, so we're talking about 4-3-1-2 then.
Yeah,
the one Ronan's playing.
Yeah.
Because it's like I suppose it might work if you play it really wide. I don't really know how Ronan is doing it, but if you stretch it really wide, the left centre mid and the right centre mid would almost be wide mids and can do the diagonals to the strikers. But I wouldn't touch it because it just looks funny.
I tested it, and what you said about that left centre mid and the right centre mid, I had nothing on them because I wanted to see what they'd do. They naturally just started drifting out wide and sort of playing in that wide mid sort of role. They kept taking up those spaces with no instructions. And I start on balance for everything at the moment and then look to tweak. And I was running everything on balance, and they kept doing it over and over. And you can look at the heat maps constantly. They were hugging, staying very, very wide. So I can see why it was working. But I was a bit of a sort of a theory crafting piece. I did a bit more testing with it again, and I'm not seeing the same replication of the centre mids anymore, doing that anymore. They're no longer quite, they're tucking in far more. So I suppose you might be able to do something tactically with them to get them to do what they were doing, but they're not doing it as organically as they were, which, again, going back to what Bob was saying, you change one thing in the engine, what's the potential knock-on effect further down the road? Because it's just so complex, this engine.
But then post-patch, I guess the 3 centre mids should be more narrow. They shouldn't really be peeling out unless you want them to.
Yeah.
So maybe that is a change for the better. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, all you could really do there is get them on high freedom, cross more often, but as you say, without any instructions at all pre-patch, they were doing that naturally.
Yeah.
That's the big difference, I think.
Yeah, because I'm almost trying to pick out formations that I know are popular, but also formations I've seen teams in Diamond running, because top of the game, they've got the best players. It's the best example of how a formation could potentially run, so that's why I'm going for it. So with like a 4-3-3-D, David, I know you've been a fan. Bruce, you've been a fan. I was converted going into the season and then woefully disappointed when apparently wingers were no longer a thing. Like that was apparently the way things were going. And I've got a mixed bag. I've got one team that's doing in bronze and then one that's sitting top of silver, which technically has been co-owned by one of my co-owners, but it's with the same tactics. I gave him the tactic I'm running. So I'm seeing very much mixed bag, but where does it sit for you boys? Is it going as well as you hoped this season?
No, for one. But I think we knew that fairly quickly that it had been sort of nerfed. You know, when they say engine rebalancing, what they essentially mean is they sort of like, it increases the likelihood of other formations doing well against certain formations. I guess in my mind, that's exactly what it means. And in this engine, 4-3-3-D has been weaker. I've tried various things, and I've got, I've done okay with it, but I need another formation, which is one I've been testing. So, yeah, one formation. I've tried loads of things in the lower down league, against the game against Hamez, which he beat me in, which he'll never let me forget. I tried 100% line against him on that, and that didn't work. Although I had tried that in testing, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's just like suicidal. So, yeah, I think you can get it to work. I don't think it's quite as good as having left mids and right mids, but I think with enough testing, you can find a way to get it to tick still.
Bruce?
I'm having great success with it. Like, I can see why other people are struggling with it, because it's not how it has been. I'm overperforming in silver. Like, I'm obviously doing well with it. I think I could see why people are struggling. Like David said, it doesn't create the same. And that's because the wingers are no longer wingers. They're basically strikers.
Yeah, that's how I treat them.
Got 3 strikers up there, and you need to find your width from your fullbacks, or drifting out your centre mids. So you've just got to look at it differently to how it has. Before it was very easy. It's a lot more work this season. I've found that a hell of a lot more work. It's not as easy to get it right. But it's good if you put in the work. If you work out the weaknesses and where to get the best out of it, you can get really good results out of it. So I can't say it's a bad formation when I'm doing really well. Yeah, no, it's not bad at all. Like, you just have to look at it differently to how you looked at it before, because it doesn't work the same at all.
I mean, I've been running 4-3-3-D and 4-3-3A in a lot of my lower teams.
Mm.
And I think that people don't always recognize that wingers themselves, there are two different types of wingers in this game, in my eyes at least.
Yeah, agreed.
Right? There are high pace, high dribbling, high shooting type wingers. Then there are high crossing, high passing type wingers. And, in season 10, season 11, when it was the cutback meta, it was all about your pace and your passing. Like, it was all about it. Like, you got to the byline and you cut it back across. Now, because crosses are working better, I'm not so much worried about them shooting as much in the past. I was worried about them passing, but now guys are cutting in more and they're taking more shots. So I'm looking for guys that can cross and shoot now as my wingers. So where I'm struggling is that when I rotate out a guy that is a pacey dribbling winger, and I take him out and I put in a shooting crossing winger, I'm doing a lot better with my shooting crossing wingers. Yeah. And it's just not everybody's built the same. And it's what I've actually noticed in Diamond as well. I have one winger, Botello, that I moved up specifically. So I have Botello on my right wing, and I gave Kev Barrera, who was my right winger last year. So Barrera's more pace and speed, and Botello is not as fast, and he's more of a shooting, passing kind of guy. And Botello's got like 6 or 7 goals in Titans Cup because of how I'm using him now. So you can make these things work if you understand what is working in the engine. And so I've tried to mold them around there, but honestly, like at the lower levels, I don't have that. Like, I don't know. It's harder for me to say, at my ice team, I want my crossing and shooting to be at 75 plus, or do you know what I mean? I don't know what that number is that makes them great there. It's very clear in Diamond, right? Higher is better. Like high 90s, much better. But you need to have the right setup. You need to have the right instructions on those guys. So if I got a guy that can't pass and he's all pace and I have to play him, I'm increasing his dribbling and I'm increasing his freedom. I'm letting him get to the byline because maybe he'll hit a cross. Maybe he'll hit one of the very rare low driving crosses into the box that get knocked in. Right? Like that's how I'm trying to set them up for success with what they do. I'm not trying to force a 78 passer to hit a whole bunch of crosses in there and have no completions on it.
Yeah. I mean, I invested in wingers this season going into like bronze and the silver teams going, I want to play wingers this season. I've not done it. I'm going to go buy those sort of players. And thankfully, I went more into the shooting angle because I've seen Bruce with the guy that everyone loves on your team. That what is he, Pereira, 82, 83 rated? Yeah. But he's got silly high pace, silly high dribbling, silly high shooting, poor passing. So that's the only reason he's down as lower rated as he is. But he's incredibly effective if used well. So I looked into getting a lot of players like that. I've got an 82 guy like that. He's got 96 pace and 94 shooting, something silly. But he can barely dribble and he can't pass. It's very simple what I get him to do. He acts like a striker.
Shoot. Yeah.
He tucks in. He tucks in and he's a striker. I want him in the box when the crosses are coming in and the cutbacks are coming across. That's the only thing I want him to do. I don't want to bugger enough over here and over there. Stay in the middle. I want 3 strikers. And that's the only way I'm finding any sort of success with mine this season.
And real quick. So just the last part on that. One of the other things that in season 9 I did a lot, and I tend to do it a lot with my teams too. The CMs that I use in my 4-3-3D and my 4-3-3A. I have one that's left-footed and one that's right-footed. And based on what I want to do, if it's a wide meta, a dribble and cut across, my right-footed CM is playing on the right side. If it is a shooting meta like it is now, my right-footed CM is playing on the left side because I'm expecting my guys to come in and I want more shots directly on goal from targets. And I want my wingers to come in and get better feeded balls closer to the goal. So I don't want to play wide at all. So like that is something small that I do. And I very specifically look for left-footed CMs because they're a lot more rare. So
yeah, it's a good point. I consider that in the front too. I haven't really considered it from centre mid sort of point of view, but it does track. It does make sense to sort of do that across. Rather than keep throwing out formations to you guys and just sort of going through sort of saying, I've deliberately sort of picked certain ones I can recall. For any formation anyone wants to call out, basically, that they've had a go at this season, they think that ain't it. It's just not working at all how you'd want it to. Because I can think of one that I'm having to run that I'm not a fan of. But I'm not
Easy answer.
Go ahead, Kev.
4-1-2-1-2 narrow.
See, I don't see the issue. Again, it's like the 4-3-3-D. I don't think the way I used to play narrow works, but I can get the narrow to work this season, playing a completely different way.
Yeah.
It's just not how it used to be. Like, so I don't think the narrow is that bad, but you've got to change the style. Like,
yeah,
Well, it's like that with a lot of the formations this season, isn't it?
yeah.
I always
It's-
play speed, but
That formation comes down to, we've already talked about like how the 4-1-3-2 works and like what it does, how it takes advantage of it. So if you want the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow to work, you have to really configure your depth and the different pieces with your players to match that. So I've run it once this season and I won with it, but it's because my team instructions are so screwed up for it. It's like it's meant specifically to push my center mids super wide and super high, right? And to keep my fullbacks back, so it's creating that gap between that I'm talking about, and like sometimes you have to put your CMs on like high freedom to create more of that space. And then that causes a whole bunch of other problems, but you have to do a whole bunch of adjustments and testing to make it work, because no matter what we do, no matter how upset we are about crosses scoring a lot of goals, it's how goals are being scored. And we can be stubborn and we can not do it because we don't like it, or we can choose to win.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Well, I don't know if I hold Ronan too high of like a pedigree, but like
7-time manager.
That's something, but he can get it to work with the best players. Probably argue like if his right back's not the best, it's the second best. If his left back's not the best, it's the second best. He can get it to work. There's got to be some sort of an issue, or it's got to be like heavily reduced, because I
think that's because he's stuck in his ways and he's used to running his narrow a certain way, and he's come back to try it, and that way doesn't work, this engine, and he's not suited.
No, but with the amount, of friendlies I've seen him run.
He does. I was going to interject and disagree potentially with that, Bruce. I think he's probably started the season that way because I've seen him test all the time.
Yeah.
But he's reached out to me. I know he's reached out to loads of people, and he's always he's talked a little bit about what he's trying to do and stuff, just not to a great degree because he keeps his cards close to his chest. But I can tell he tried everything to try and get the 4-1-2 narrow working. And then decided actually it ain't, and we've seen that he's running. It's the 4-3-1-2 more frequently. I've seen from Ronan now. I don't think I've seen him run the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow recently. But to your point, Hamez, I think you're bang on there. He's got arguably one of the best squads in the game.
He's got the strongest squad in the game,
and he's run it religiously, and he's felt compelled to move away from it for the reasons we're articulating. And there's definitely something to that. There's no doubt. I mean, I don't think we'll ever convert Root from moving away from it, as Bruce and I have tried. He's stubborn like that because he doesn't want to win. So that's fine, though.
He's fuming with me in the
chat, and he's thinking about the 4-1-2.
Again, the difference is this: like if you look at my Belco team in Iron, it's had pretty decent success with the 4-3-3-A because, like, not downplaying Iron and everything, but like the skill level in Iron's not nearly as high as.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you can get the formations that cannot work high up to work down below because you have no idea who you're playing against. So it's just I saw Ronan, like, because obviously his time zone, he's like, is he in the middle of the US? So his time zone kind of links up a little bit with me. So I see him run from like friendlies just all like that when it's the UK night. And it's like he must have played Sid, Bob, Kev 40, 50 times a day for the first like week and a bit before the season started. And then all of a sudden, like in our WeChat, Sid was going, Ronan's changed. And like all of a sudden he changed to the 4-3-1-2 and just started running that. So it's like I never even bothered trying the narrow because like I hold him at a high enough pedestal of like he has ran Diamond as much as people don't like it, and his squad's are good. If he can't get it to work, there has to be an underlying issue with the formation. So I might be able to get it to work somewhat in Spark. That's because I could be playing Scrub Farm Team 67, who's on 55 fitness after 6 games because he's too busy sitting in Sydney than he is managing the team. So it's like, there's just, like holding him.
Let's be honest about Ronan, though. Like, season 10 was not built for his team. She's not built for a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow season. This season now is not either, right?
Yeah.
But he is still going to finish top 3 in diamond. So like he knows the formation so well. He's like a really, really stubborn Arsene Wenger who's just going to stick with his formation and go with it forever. And he's going to do it. And if he's going to change, there are subtle changes because the 4-1-2-1-2 is not narrow, is not overly different from the 4-1-3-2. You know, you remove the CDM and you put in the CM, yada, yada, or what is the cam. Like, you can still play in a similar manner, but, you know, you have to make those adjustments. And what we're seeing now, and just from the results, is that 2 strikers are the way to go. He's always had 2 strikers. But now it's a matter of the tiki-taka middle passes are not working as well because it's congested. So you have to take advantage of the guys that are playing better. And Ronan has been flexible enough to figure this stuff out. And it makes me happy because with my success at the start of the season, we saw Ronan and Dio and Big Will and everybody just shift off of what they were doing. And now they're all trying to run 4-3-1-2 and 4-1-3-2, like all of those things. So you could tell what's happening. And the question becomes, are there players set up to do it? And do they know why?
Yeah.
These changes are happening? Because I understood last season what was happening in the engine. I couldn't make it work. Like that goes back to something I said like a half hour ago. I didn't know how to make the individual changes and team changes to make a center narrow attack work for my guys. And I have some of the best guys in the game, but I couldn't figure it out. And so when you are so set into what you're doing, it's very hard to go off and do something different. You hope that you switch the formation and your regular setup works. I've been fortunate because I have some core setups that I do, like 4 or 5 of them, and I was able to filter through them in each one of the formations and find the ones that work, right? And that's just what I run. So like when I switch to a 4-3-1-2, it's not because I want to run it. It's because Ledich is retiring and he loses 12 like energy every single match he plays. So I have to be very cognizant of these things. So you have to find a mix that goes in there.
I think that's fair. Is there any other formation anyone wanted to shout out before I move on to our next segment? The stream
I
today?
really don't like the 3-4-3 has been a struggle for me.
Oh, I love testing it. When you reached out and you said, "Oh, any thoughts and things like that," and I had to go with it. I absolutely bloody loved it. It's crazy, it's bonkers, but it's fun.
It's fun. Yes. It is so much fun. And but I haven't been able to get it to work. And this comes back to like I still get goals because again, it's my diamond team is not really a good example to use because my diamond team is set up for crossing. It's set up for Ledich and Botello to cross the ball to Beckman, who's just not fair. So like I can't use my diamond team as a good example of whether it's good or not. I look more at my bronze teams. So like my hometown bronze team. I'm struggling to run 3-4-3s. I'm losing games when I run 3-4-3s. But when I switch up to a 4-1-2 wide or a 4-1 or 4-3-1-2, I'm winning, right? So they're just not performing at that level. And I've been having to use them in some cups as well. The 4-3-3 and the 3-4-3 diamond, I had to use in some cups because I didn't have the coverage at right back and left back. And I'm seeing how tough it is. I mean, I don't know if any of you watched like my run in Titans, but like I lost to BFC Barcelona. I'm running a 3-4-3, right? And I'm not attacking. I don't have the guys in there. I'm running a 3-4-3D against Buenos Aires, and I give up like 4 goals, right? Like these things are not working this season at all. And to your point before, Mr. Big K, like they're fun, man. It's really exciting to have wingers go down. Guys just do stuff. Like I love that kind of play, and it sucks that it's not working, but I understand why it's not working.
Yeah, I'm the same. Like, I mean, the sort of echelons I was using Training Center to test, like, because I didn't have a one club that I could have run it on. So I'm coming up against all sorts, and there could be bogus teams where they've got a 85 rated squad, roughly a match in mind, but they've got a 30 rated right back for some reason. It's all over the show, but it's a lot of fun to test with. It's just, I used to like watching the games when people were playing 3-4-3. I hated playing against it, but I liked watching people playing it because it was so attacking. Any other formations before we move on to it's either truth or myth? Is our next section. Anything else?
Yeah, I mean the 3-5-2B sucks just like normal, but
Flat
not
one.
much. No, the 3-5-2B, the one with the B in the brackets.
Oh, the B, yeah. Because
Yeah.
that makes sense because that tracks as well. Because that's Jimbo's formation into that makes sense. Yeah,
Well, he runs for the backs nice. I mean, it must not be great.
Well,
So
he couldn't get out of bronze, so he got given a Dow team to get out of bronze. That's how we've worked that one out. I pointed it out as soon as it happened. Anywho, moving on to one of our final sections then. It was more of a truth or myth sort of thing because there's been some tinfoil hat theories thrown around and some of them I subscribe to, some I don't. So I did reach out to the community and get a few more suggestions. You might have some that you want to throw out here yourself, guys. I just want to get people's general thoughts on some of these and just feel free to chip in as is. So one of the theories I keep hearing is the second half of the season uses a different engine. Is that a truth or a myth?
Myth.
Myth?
It's a myth.
Myth?
Yeah.
It's a myth, but here's the deal. As we still, it's not a different engine, but like we talk about, when there are fixes to the engine, there are unintended consequences. And so the engine itself is not different, but any change to it can have a butterfly effect. You know.
Also, mid-season, people will do a lot of testing, and therefore they come back stronger, which like can affect like results. So people are like, "Oh, this wasn't working before, now it's working. It must have been a change." No, people have done testing, or
exactly. And we forget that we're playing against real humans.
Yeah,
mostly, right? Like people don't like losing, so they are going to try to beat you. They are going to look in to try to beat you. People that really care about it. So. You know, if all of a sudden we're not scoring goals, like there are really good managers that are making changes. And if you're not able to adjust with it, then that sucks. You know, I mean, what you hope for is that you are so far ahead of the pack that people are trying to replicate you and change their teams to match your teams where you're still ahead. Like instead of changing their old stuff to beat you, you know. And so luckily in Diamond, we had a lot of people that run like winger formations, and they're just not as strong this season creating and defending. So that gives me an advantage because people are switching off to formations that I'm very good with.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'll be doing the second half of the season is I'm going to go 4-3-3 attack against Hamez in gold so I can get my revenge because it's like if you can't beat him, join him sort of vibe. So Hamez 4-3-3 attack.
Hey, go for it. It'll be a game of absolute carnage. Yeah.
I don't even have a clue even if I can run that. But why not, eh? Why not?
Yeah.
Can't beat him, join him.
Hold on. Before you move on, have you got anything in that list about the cup engine being different?
That's very interesting you say that because the fourth one down, Cup and League have a different engine.
I'll agree with that.
And you can tell he doesn't read the agenda because I knew that was coming.
I didn't read the agenda.
No, I don't normally read an agenda, but this one I wrote, so it just makes sense that I have read it. So, okay, I don't read Bruce agendas. That's the only thing I don't do. There we go. That's fine. But yeah, so Bruce, you think it is different than Cup and League? Yeah, I
think it's you know what we were saying about the code is different, and one little bit of code can affect stuff. Well, in the league, when you get to 90 minutes and the score's 1-1, what happens to the game? It ends, right? In knockouts, when you end 1-1, what happens at 90 minutes when it ends 1-1? It extends the game. It goes into extra time. It goes into fucking penalties. That's a different piece of code, which can have different effects on how the game out. So not the group, which will explain why I could always get through the group and then do absolutely shit the bed in the knockouts because the engine's
finish early.
I mean, I think you're right. With that. I am bad in the cups. In the total time that I've ever played this game, I've won 2 cups. They're both in season 8. They're both using a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow. It was the best season that I had in cups, but I haven't been to a final since then. Like that was a long time, and I've been pretty good with my teams as we go through there. And you know, it's a mix of you're also playing teams that are on the same par as you too, which just kind of reiterates the fact that I'm actually not that good of a manager. I just overload my teams lower down, and I just hope the OBRs beat them. So
See, I do quite well in the cups. I've won like the last 4 seasons. I've won at least one, I think.
Yeah.
And my last season's cup finals on YouTube, which is always quite nice, with the manager of the other team uploading it. So that was a nice watch. Like getting to see them get excited when they scored, knowing that I'm going to win anyway. So it's like I then got to see them be sad that my team scored. So that was always a fun watch.
David, you've been quite successful in the cups the last few seasons, as I recall, haven't you? So do you notice any sort of discrepancy between league and cup, or is it just you put more onus on the cup?
Yeah, but like I think with the cup, sometimes, especially in the group phase, there's people that will focus on the league, and therefore, you know, I always focus on the cup because it's extra MFL. I'm going to get MFL from the league anyway. You know, maybe I suffer one extra place, but by doing well in the cup, you can gain, you know, an extra 100,000 MFL if you're in sort of, you know, even more if you're in the really top cups. Yeah. So I find you know, the engine just seems the same, whatever. You know, I just think that sometimes, especially when you get to the knockouts, people put a lot more effort in then. You know, the people that have got out of the groups, they'll put a lot more effort in, a lot more practicing. I noticed earlier someone I'm playing in the next round has been running friendlies from another of their teams against one of mine. So I'll be running a different formation for them.
I did that last season. I put a 4-1-2-1-2 in and just played everyone out of position when he started doing it, and then he didn't know. And I just played my normal setup when we played him in the cup. So he learnt nothing, but it was fun to watch because he cycled through loads of my stone teams, and I just did it to all of them with really wild, wacky formations. But I think further down the pyramid, it's more noticeable because, like, if you go down to ice, stone, iron. There tends to be a bigger discrepancy between quality of teams from the top of the league to the bottom of the league. There's more degree of variety in terms of quality of teams. Whereas you get to the upper echelons, like your platinums and your diamond, they're that much closer. It's really sort of chunked together. But as soon as you enter a cup, well, what you were doing in the league, if you're doing well in your league, is beating everyone up. You might just be stronger. You get to a cup, everyone's very close. Well, it should be anyway. More or less, everyone's very close. So you're coming up against managers who have got similar strength teams to yours, and they might just be getting the better of you. Yeah, I'm not sure I've subscribed to it being different, but I'm like you, David. I've put more onus into the cups the last couple of seasons. Not had the same level of success that you've had, but I've definitely tried and get as far as I can in the cups. And that's one of the incentives for my delegated teams because I want that extra MFL coming through the pyramid. One that I think Sid had mentioned on Lair's stream earlier today, which if you didn't tune into that, it's worth a watch back because I quite enjoyed that one with Sid and Lair today. It's that momentum or form exists in the game. Thoughts?
100%. Totally agree.
Yep.
I've always said that. I said that on early Ramble pods. So
I don't think it. I mean, I think again it's just a myth, but it feels like it exists sometimes. I'll tell you that.
Well, I was doing well until Bob smashed me 5-0 in Diamond, and then I lost the 2 games after that. So, yeah, feels like momentum was gone, form was lost, you know.
I think about that sometimes, like, is it not just the manager? Sort of, you see a change in your fortunes, and then you start trying to fix, and did it need fixing to the degree that people try and fix it and you go around and tweak and overthink it? And is it more of that sort of psychology piece? Because as Bob was saying earlier, you're coming up against another human manager who wants to beat you every single game. They're actively trying to beat you. So are you end up effectively beating yourself a little bit?
There probably is a bit of that. I didn't change the way I approached the games though. So
no, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, well, to be fair, one of them was Dio, so of course I'm probably going to lose to him, and it was only a 2-1 loss. But yeah, I just felt like form and momentum had gone and changed at that point. But then I've started winning again, so yeah.
Oh, good. European finish this season, Kev. We're backing you.
Well, we'll see.
Anyone else? Anyone else got any takes on that one before we move on to the next one?
No, for sure, but. Like, I'll have games where I'm on a run of like 5 wins and then I'll lose to bottom of the league. And I'm like, what's that about? Like, but that happens a lot to me. And I don't get it. Like, so
I've had it.
Is that momentum? I don't know. Like,
is that their momentum? Maybe.
I'll lose that game and then carry on winning. And it's just like, where did that loss come from? Like, you know?
I'd call that variance. That's what I would say.
Yeah,
because if you keep winning after one blip, That's got to be variance.
It's got to be better, yeah.
Especially if it's a much weaker team as well.
I've tried to get myself away from that V word from last season because it felt like variance was the norm, is how I was sort of viewing it. And I've actually tried to come at this season and go, actually, I'm not going to treat variance as being the deciding factor. It definitely exists, but is it variance, or did my tactics not work against that team and their setup?
Yeah.
That's how I'm trying to view these scenarios. I had it with my Iron team that is overpowered, ran a 4-4-2-B, which is, I've showed with the data earlier, it's not working as well, but it was before that. And I lost 1-0, looked at the stats, you go, what the how's that happened? Feel like I could replay that game over and over again. But then I rewatched the tactics. I'm trying to analyze what he was doing, and I feel like he got a handle of what I was trying to do, managed to counter it, and had good performances, and was able to expose where I was potentially more open. So after that, I did some testing, tweaked my tactic a little bit, ran it again in the league since then, and I've been fine since then. I've shut a lot of teams out. Previously, I would have gone, that's just variance. But now it's like, actually, no, what did this person potentially do? Like when Hamez beat me earlier this season in the gold team, that was luck. That was definitely variance. There's nothing more about that. He didn't get anything right. It's just Maya got it wrong. And that's how I view that now moving forward into the season. But
I would say there's both. I think there's variance games, and then there's other games where you're right. Managers have adjusted, they have set up to beat you. So
I've got a theory that when you're playing like teams that are around your level, you have a certain way set up, and maybe you're pressed forward or something like that, or got balance, and then you go against a team that's rubbish, and they've got their team set to direct and sitting back because they know they're rubbish, and that instantaneously could do well against a team if it's got a higher line. I'm not saying that happens in every example, but I just think the way people have things set up, like you have to think about how is like a team set up at the bottom of the table. They're probably set up to not concede many and go direct. If they've got pace up front, and it's quite tough playing against them. But yeah, it is a bit weird sometimes how you do well against certain, and then suddenly, because I've had it this season, then suddenly you'll lose against the team you should beat. It's like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, you're looking at the game and going, right, I've rested, I've got a nice little bit of rotation, I'm comfortable with my tactics, it's all going well. Come against that team, you're like, right, easy 3 points, it's going to be a nice watch. And then you want to throw your phone at the wall because they ended up losing the game. It's like if someone lost to Sao Paulo this season in Diamond, is that variance or is that an issue somewhere?
It almost happened. Sao Paulo were winning in a game and got beat 2-1. So it almost happened.
Was that before he started running everybody out of position?
No, yeah, I think it was when Brian had it. He had the people in the right position. No, but he had 7 people in 7 Legos in the right position, but 4 32 commons in the wrong position. So he didn't have a full 11 in the right one, but it was a 2-1 win, and the winner was in the 81st minute. So it was it was almost a draw. But
who's playing them next?
Bob, yeah.
Oh, that's going to be a fun match to watch.
There's a chance.
Pencil in 30 minutes to watch that game.
I am playing Beckman. I am playing Beckman.
Make sure he's on penalties, free kicks. Make sure he's on everything.
The thing that'll be interesting with him is with about 7. If he keeps the same lineup with about 6 games to go, he'll start forfeiting.
Yeah.
But why? Why would someone do that?
No, but it makes no sense because he loses all his MFL.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Which, if he does, it's enough games that he loses everything. So he will. It's just, will you be unlucky and one person will get the right team with all the Legos in the right position and only win by 4 or 5, and all of a sudden you've lost out. If Bob wins, say all goes well and Bob wins 32-0 tomorrow, and Sid plays him when he's got the right, or whoever's second in the league plays him, Milano wins 4-0. Bob's got a 30 goal difference buffer that you're never going to catch in Diamond.
Yeah, I mean, Sid was covering that with live stream earlier.
Hold on. I know that's a real thing, but I already have a 36 goal.
No, yeah. I know it doesn't really work.
So
I was going to flip it. I was going to flip it round because Sid was talking about the relegation battle.
That's what matters to me, honestly. It's when I go on a losing streak and Biscone beats him 45-0, and then all of a sudden the goal difference is gone. And I didn't get a chance to beat him 30-0 because I didn't play the new guy. I played Brian when he played a full team.
So so it's like obviously this season's not a great example for first, but I've not seen Sid's one because I've already had a go at Sid. He did the stream at 1 a.m. So like that's just I got Sid on the show, and then he did it at a time I can't even watch the show. So there's my thing. But there could be who won 30-0 Roma. That could be a very good relegation swing.
Exactly.
If he now all of a sudden plays it again, because he's bought it for the MFL of coming last, which if he doesn't do anything, he's not going to get any. So at some point he is going to rotate and put people in the right position.
Yeah.
Well, Max only beat him 1-0, which is crazy. Max is phenomenal at this game as well.
See, Roma has Sao Paulo in the fourth match of the second half. So Roma could have a plus 60 goal differential in 2 matches.
Yeah.
And it matters at the bottom because the person that's going to be affected are people like Sturge and Joga Benita and Big Will and Hamburg Harmony. Those are the teams that are going to be frustrated,
Well, I only beat him 4-0, and I don't play him again until the 20th of March. So he's probably forfeiting by then.
But you were playing Brian, and he was saying okay. And then the next time you play him, his final game of the season, when he could be default, he could be forfeiting games by then.
Yeah, exactly. So I've been massively shafted there. But but it was timing of Brian selling the club as well. So I wasn't sure Brian would actually sell it.
Yeah, but it's more I don't understand. Brian's built it with 8 Legos in the right position and comments to fill the rest of the spots. If he's going to just set and forget them in the right positions. It's actually more effort to put them in the wrong positions than it is the right positions.
I don't think anyone's able to get a finger on the pulse of that one and go there's the thought process there. It's a shame when it's like this.
At the end of the day, it's his money. He can do whatever the hell he wants with it.
Agreed.
Right. So it's if it costs Beckman or Chin a trophy at the end of the season, I can be frustrated, but I'm going to move on with my life. You know what I mean? It's just what we do.
I assume he's looking at it whatever he gets plus cups. I mean, I don't think he'd want to give him the cup. And diamond, plat, and then maybe gold, and then that MFL for the 3 divisions, and then also the value of the license. He would be sort of looking at then a plus, but I don't know. He's a really interesting guy if you look at his profile of the trade flips, because I've taken a photo of a couple of ones he's done, and he's bought this guy for $3, sold him for $4, and I'm including tax, he's made 52-cent profit, and I'm what is the point?
Still profit.
Yeah, but what is the point? You're going to need a lot of them to buy a common play. You need 4 flips to make a common play.
Yeah, but I mean, we know that this guy is willing to do the work to make 50 cents profit.
Yep.
So it would make sense if you start moving up and you're going to spend $1,000 to make $200 profit. That makes perfect sense.
Yep.
Yeah. You just have to not forfeit, and you need to get your MFL. That's just the main thing that we're talking about here.
Yeah.
And if I was more like this guy, I would be selling packs. I'd actually get money coming back, but I'm not. Right. So there is a balance between the two.
There's going to be a massive deluge of common packs at the end of the season, all from this owner from Diamond, I reckon.
Oh man, can you imagine me spending $2.5 million on common packs and selling them?
Oh, you'd break the site. You'd be sat there for it. You try to load it your inventory. It'd take longer to load than thingy's agency.
It would be my time is worth more than that. Seriously, I remember doing it with a deal I made with Scrub, and I bought 200 packs, opened them, floated them. It was miserable. I was never again. You
could bring the power curve down though, because there'd be so many more commons and not enough higher up plays that commons could be back in Spark.
But they're not being used in Spark. There's just not enough.
I know, but think about us, Bob, who don't have this place. Think about us.
So just be hey, Bob, I'm going to take this guy from you on loan. I'm okay.
There is that angle. I like that angle more. Yeah, that's good.
So, I mean, the thing is, with me, and you guys know this mostly, I'm willing just to give guys out for free because My agency is big enough that I can't play guys. I have a ton of guys between 70 and below that just don't have teams right now that are just sitting for free loan. Like if people send me 0% loans for these guys, I'll accept them. Just want them playing. Like honestly. And that's why a lot of my loans go to Andy Official, because he has all these Flint teams and he just sends 0% loans for everything. And I've got like 3 extra Flint teams. They're all on 0%. I just don't care. Like they're playing games. They're getting progression.
Yeah.
So yeah, there is like more power to Kareem Hayes. Like I may not like it. It may cost me trophies, but simultaneously I know I'm going to get a win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know everybody's going to get a win, but it's one less game to worry about. It's like I'm extending this 3-day vacation of MFL into 4 days. And I don't have to focus.
Last couple of these truth or miss ones, then. So I've got 2 more left. I've got that players have hidden attributes. I know Root subscribes to this, but any thoughts on that one, gents?
No.
I can see why. Sorry,
it's just the only opening they have to that is why is one 6'4", 83 rated goalie versus another 6'3" or 6'4", 83 rated goalie perform different, right? I know there's like, but like if you put them in the same team though, say like your first and second choice are the exact same everything, same foot, same like everything, they should perform. I know you play against different folk, but if you played one goalie for 11 games in the league against everyone and played against 11 folk against another, they should perform almost identical, but they don't.
Or has somebody done that test?
You can't see as well, I'll point out, on a player's card, you can't see if the goalkeeper has hands or not. So that's my theory with some of these. I swear to God. There's certain goalkeepers, they're just abysmal. It doesn't matter anything about them, they're horrendous. And I see that more commonly with any others. Because every other card, I think, oh, that centre-back performs better than that one. There's more stats. There's 5 stats to look at. For a goalkeeper, you've got 1. Maybe the height, but mainly the 1. And I do the same. I've got a 6'5", 87 rated goalkeeper. I swear the guy doesn't save as many shots as he should do, compared to some of my 82 rated goalkeepers who are shorter, playing in a harder league for their rating and stuff. But there we have it. It's just one of those. So if you find a goalkeeper that performs well, keep them.
Yeah,
I agree with that. I agree with that.
That's why I refuse. I also refuse to captain them, even at the top level.
Yeah.
Because like as I said on your one, I don't know. Like, I know it says +2 defense, but what does +2 defense on a goalkeeper? Like I know you get +2 overall. I just don't know what it does. Give me a description of what's the difference between an 89 goalie and an 87 goalie? Because in Castle, I can tell you the 89 goalie is not doing as well as the 88 goalie. And like I've captained both just to try, and the 89 goalie is still like he is now dropped, and he is. If I want like a painful experience, I will play the higher rated goalie, which seems reversed.
I did that in gold with the Dow team when I got promoted. I had an 86 and an 84. The 86 stunk the place out for 5 games. He got dropped. The 84 played. The 84 played brilliantly for the rest of the season. Didn't improve, but played brilliantly, and I won the league that season. It made no sense.
So when it comes to goalkeepers, and you have that scenario, did you find that 84 goalkeeper started to progress after the season? Because I'm of the opinion that if guys actually play closer to where their ceiling is going to be than their actual level. So I believe that there is a marked difference between a guy that is 84, but he has 94 potential. He's playing better than everybody else, and that's tied in there. So I don't know that the number always mixes in. It's like my conspiracy theory. I think there are hidden stats like that. I think that there are like hidden momentum stats, because like how do you shut out a team for 85 minutes and then they come out and they just rattle off 5 goals in a row? Like that's a momentum thing. Like in my eyes, at least. I can't calculate that. I don't know how it works, but it feels that way. It's probably not true, because I don't know, like you can't statistically do that kind of stuff, but it feels that way to me. Right. And then the other thing with the goalkeepers, I just don't know what's going on. I think that there is a hidden stat that comes down to football IQ, intelligence. Because Beckman's 5'6", he's always in the right spot. always. I mean, granted, he's the best player the game has ever seen. I'm not even joking about that. But certain guys do things that you would expect a smart footballer to do.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas dumber guys like Gerard, who's Kev's center back, because he's really fast in center back, he runs backwards and he just kicks people in the ass. Like he's like the Euros version of Pepe that just like headbutts everybody and just does stupid shit from time to time, but is really good otherwise.
I got all the best players in.
Yeah. So like I think that those are two things. I think momentum, it feels that way, and that's probably just being a user. But I think there is some sort of intelligence factor that is put in there. And I think that intelligence ties into how high your guy is going to progress as well.
I've got examples of like almost like traits that players have, because I've got a couple of strikers that have been playing in silver, gold, bronze, all similar rating, 85, 86. There is one striker, because they're all of the high shooters, they're all attacking free kicks. There is one striker who has scored more free kicks than the others, and he missiles them. When they go in, it's so fast the way the ball travels. I've not seen that from another player. I only see that from him, and he's got lower rated shooting and very similar physical rating to the other strikers, but I'm not seeing the same replication. I can't say why he can do that, but not him or him or him or him. I don't know what the difference is, but there is one striker who does that. Admittedly, this season, Hamez, as you pointed out in the last week's stream, they ain't going in this year, but he still leathers it. And you can tell the difference between him striking the ball to another one. But I don't know why. I like it, but I don't know why.
I think it's like FIFA. You know, like how you get hidden, well, not hidden stats on FIFA.
It's player styles
traits
and stuff now.
Player traits, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
So like low-driven shot and flare trait and, all these things. So I kind of think it's the same. I totally agree with the goalkeepers. I've got some goalkeepers that are horrendous. Like you put them 77 rated in ice and they'll still be terrible.
I loan those out.
Same. That's someone else's problem.
Basically, bye.
But honestly, I mean, I know the goalkeepers that play well. They're all in my teams. The ones I loan out, keep an eye on them.
Yeah, basically now I've kind of shot myself in the foot for next season now, because when I'm loaning out, is anyone interested in loaning in this goalkeeper? People go, no.
But the goalkeepers are different based on the engine. My goalkeeper that I'm using this season has given up 8 goals. He gave up 45 last season. He didn't all of a sudden become better. It's how the shots are coming in and how the attacking happens. So, like, it's not just your goalkeepers. So,
I'll agree with that. Last season in bronze, I shipped a lot of goals with my goalkeeper. Same goalkeeper this season, and he's the best goalkeeper in the league right now.
Yeah,
like completely night and day, and he's in a higher division as well. So yeah.
Yep.
Well, there you go. Dan LFC just said, I can back this statement. The 2 keepers alone from Kev haven't saved a shot in 3 seasons.
It's just the stinkers they have make no sense as well. Like I had a game where like my entire outfield 10 were in the greens, and yet my goalie had dropped a 4.2 and we lost.
And I'm like, this engine.
Yeah.
No hands.
And I'm like, I don't understand how I can, like, my defense have a green rating. They can't have been getting bodied. They can't have been getting dribbled past. And yet my goalie's got 4.2, 0 saves, 2 on target, 2 goals. And I'm like, that's just the game choosing this is the game where he's not making saves. So there's just not enough. I don't have enough control on my goalie. Yeah, I can tell him to play at the back and I can tell him to do other things. I just don't have enough control on him to make him feel like the ratings are sometimes deserved. Like he just pops a 4 and then the next game he pops like a 7 and I'm like, well, I haven't changed anything. I've actually got dominated I get dominated in the first, like in the second game, and he does a better rating and he makes loads of saves. I dominate in the first game, I have 2 shots against me and I lose. I'm like, the game we should lose is the second game and the game we should win is the first game. I'm like, I don't know how you fix a goalie that then is performing sort of bipolar in his rating, apart from just kick him to the curb.
Well, speaking of goalkeepers, the best goalkeeper in Diamond is my guy, Valverde. So I think
I gave him praise at the start, and Brian ridiculed him.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So Brian ridiculed him, But Brian's got the guy I had last season who's doing very well for him, and he was fucking awful for me. So
It's the engine. Like every goalkeeper was not good last season.
oh
Like,
yeah, no, I get that, Bob.
what happens?
I
And,
get that.
I mean,
Yeah, but
what blows my mind is that your goalkeeper is leading in bronze, is leading in diamond, which makes sense because you sat him against me, I think.
Yeah.
Which is the game that you got absolutely destroyed because I'm not giving up any goals. And I'm like 5th, which means that whatever I'm doing, my defense isn't giving up shots either. Right? So my goalkeeper's stats just aren't going to be as high, even though he's not giving up goals, if he's not getting balls put on target. So I mean, there's a big difference, and it is engine variable. Whenever there's a narrow engine, goalkeepers are just bad, like just really, really bad. So
Well, I play you soon, Bob, next few games, and I'm not even going to try and defend. I'm just going to attack you. I'm just going to throw everything at you. So,
yeah, I mean, it's
3-4-3.
it'll be interesting to see what happens. Like maybe that's the game I lose.
Well,
know,
Big Mr. K has already found out the tactic that I've preset, apparently, because it is a 3-4-3.
Oh, nice. Both play 3-4-3. Let's make it really interesting.
Yeah, let's just be
yeah,
alpha.
a fun game to watch.
Yeah, the challenge would be: can you get more goals than the Kareem Hayes game? So
Yeah, yes. Yeah, you're both going to play it like that. It's got to be a spectacle.
Well, I don't have any commons in the team, so surely not, you know.
We're getting on for 2 hours, boys, so I'm going to try and just push us forward a little bit. I've only got one more for the truth or myth, and that there's home team advantage. And I think that was Taggart's put in with that one. Any thoughts on that one?
No.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
I want a home
There's no
field
evidence
advantage,
to back it up. There's no evidence to back it up.
No.
Like
There's no way to back it up, so I can say yes.
You can't disprove it.
You can't back up your no either.
So yes, I'm happy to end on that one for truth or myth because I know there's loads knocking around there at the moment. The last question I wanted to throw out to everyone really was this season's engine. I think a lot of people have seen there seems to be a bit more positivity about this season's engine in general, not everyone. Do you want to keep it for next season and iterate it, or are you looking for MFL to give us a new engine and we start all over again? Where are you at with that at this point in the season?
Well, I like that Monkey and Bruce have both said they love the engine because they're obviously both 433D guys, and you know it's clearly a wide mid specific sort of engine for the meta as such. But no, I want to change it. I want a new one, and I love this engine. I just like the challenge of a new one. So.
I think this engine is very clearly not balanced, and I don't think we should ever keep an engine that isn't balanced.
Agreed.
Like ever.
Totally agree. Yeah.
Yep.
And I would say though, the engine last season was clearly not balanced either.
No,
it was considerably worse than this engine.
Oh, it's
I actually think that no matter how much people complained about the cutbacks and the cutback meta, it's still been the best engine that we've had in the game.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, if they were going to keep it, I think we need more notice than like a week. So like when they did with season, was it 9 and 10? They told us during 9 that they were keeping it for 10. So you could almost plan for it.
Yes.
Whereas like I could plan for an engine change and then like at the end of the season to go, we're keeping it, and kind of my plans are ruined. Or I could go, well, we're going to stick with this. I could sign 30 wide mids, and then they go, we're changing the engine, and it's like, well, what am I supposed to do with what am I looking to build? Where, like, if you give me notice, I can build for it for next season. So it's just
another take on this for me is until you have a balanced engine, I don't see the point of ever keeping an engine for 2 seasons.
That's fair.
Fully agree.
Simple as that.
Fully agree.
Do you think they will keep the engine? The only reason I'm saying that is
I don't think they will.
They would have announced it by now, I think.
But also, normally they announce we're working on the engine for next season, the experimental engine. That hasn't been in the.
That's usually this Friday, isn't it? It's sort of mid-season break. That Friday update, we get an idea about the next engine.
Normally they mention that they are working on the engine.
Yeah. We usually get a beta in the coming week or so. We get like the initial build of next season's engine. Just
surprise me if they keep it, but rebound.
It wouldn't me if I'm honest.
Yeah.
But whether I want them to, I'm enjoying this season. I'm having a lot of success in lots of different places. Hamez, I will beat the second half of the season, but
Same.
I don't think it's balanced enough. It's not balanced enough.
No, it's not.
It's very heavily weighted towards other things. We either need to improve aspects of the game where if it's wingers or whatever, so they're a bit more in keeping with the rest of the engine. And then that's the way I prefer it to be. I don't want to, let's not nerf something to try and bring it in balance. No, bring other things up to be a bit more valid in the engine. That's how I prefer it. But I suppose it depends on if there's massive extremes.
So
Yeah.
I think I actually don't agree with Kevin Bruce. I actually think that you need to take this engine that they have, and it could have been they could have taken last season's engine too, and make small tweaks to it. You never restart a process hoping that you get lucky and hit it. It is so complex. I think that what I'm noticing, like when we make our changes to team instructions, there's only like 5 things that we can click, right? Like there's only like 5 different levels you can put it at or whatever, however many number it is. And what I actually think is that they probably took the narrow approach and they just did one more click to the right to make attacking wider, which is completely put wide mids in place. I actually think if that is the case, if I'm right with this theory, then they need to make their adjustments more granular and make slight adjustments, because kicking it in just a smidge more narrow might even things out. Like, I think that the changes are too big. I actually don't think that they're making big changes in the engine. I think that they're doing just like one notch kind of changes, but the notches are too big. And I don't think that there is enough that goes in there to allow you to do what you need to do and to get it where it needs to go. So that's my guess as to what's going on, because I don't think you should ever rebuild an engine that you have established, because no matter what you do, you're going to have other issues. Like right now, you have defenses working.
Mm-hmm.
Start there. Your defenses work. Can we make the coding a little bit more granular and make it a tad bit more narrow to make the CMs and the LMs and the RMs relatively equal as we go through? If yes, how do we help make winger formations a little bit better? And the problem is there are so many different things that need to be done that this multivariant problem, it has no actual solutions. And we're going to get the best of what we have. And we notice it more because we are spending more time on podcasts and talking about it. Quite honestly, we are the 1% of the 1% of the 1% of people that play this game. We dig into these things, so we notice them, we see them. Whereas 99.9% of people are not going to notice these things. They're going to play the game and have fun with like, oh, I lost today, who cares? And move on with their lives. So we are really, really deep in the weeds. And so subtle changes.
Well, yeah.
I don't think you can do things.
It doesn't need to be a new engine, Bob. I'm just saying don't keep the same one. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I think
when you say don't keep the same one, though, I hear just like I think they hear redo the engine.
Yeah, no, that's
well,
not.
Bruce, you said it best on Yorkshire Tea, I think. When you said 433D's here, they've put it here.
Yeah. Bring it
Put
to the
it
middle.
there.
Yeah.
Simple.
I think one thing that I don't know how they do it, but right now crosses are being converted at a high clip. If you just brought every other type of goal up, so it's also at the same, like you can score just as many cutbacks, you can score just as many passes, tiki-taka passes through the middle, and made them all the same conversion rate, I'd imagine that'd bring the balance back, because there's lots of right now it's just one way to score. Like,
but it
Well,
is
the way they need, I think it would help if they had a better testing method, because they can run as many simulations as they want.
Yeah, it's not the same. Their simulations are the same.
Whereas when do most of the issues come about? Match day 2, match day 3, match day 4, when all of a sudden, how many matches have been played? Like I have 11 teams, so I see 11 a day, potentially like 12 a day. Everyone else sees 11, 12 matches a day. I don't know how many experimental engine total matches get played, but I can't imagine, like, it probably gets overdone by match day 2, match day 3. So issues that haven't been spotted in experimental get spotted when match day 2 and 3 happens, and then all of a sudden these are glaring issues that no one picked up on. So it's
And
just
I mean,
we need a way to get the experimental engines matches a way up, and that doesn't come around with offering folk 500 MFL for a game-breaking issue.
so in the off season, do money tournaments like the Masters tournament. You make enough money from a couple sales. Do money tournaments with an experimental engine. You're going to get a lot more people actively engaged in playing, and you're in a much higher sample size. Like, it's the only way you can actually do these things. And I'm of the opinion that because crosses are so good, and Hamez has talked about it so much, that next season we're going to go back to a cutback meta.
Yeah, I think so.
Because
They'll do that again.
What's happened, Bruce, is that the cutback meta started becoming less and less effective because the center backs, if we were playing more narrow, they were tightening things up. Center backs were stopping the crosses that come through. What happens when you narrow up and your guys aren't really going wide anymore? You stop the immediate cutback crosses to come through, but you open up the wider crosses that open up to your wide wingers, to your wide strikers that are better physical than anybody else, and then you have these opportunities. So we're seeing more of the conversions because that's just the best way to get the ball into the net now. So it's no longer the cutback to get the ball into the net or the tiki-taka middle passes. It's just a cross. And like, there are different ways to do it. And crosses are too much. So they're going to overcorrect the crosses. And by overcorrecting the crosses, they're going to force a wider base in the defense, which is then going to allow our faster wide wingers to go to the baseline and cut back again. And we're going to go through a cycle, kind of how this game works.
Yeah, it's because the way you could just, like, not dissing Beckman, but he's got 99 pace, 99 shooting, 99 physical. Most of the Diamond top managers do have 99 defense, 99 physical sort of center halves. In a crossing situation, Beckman shouldn't be the one winning the cross, but he's winning more crosses than he's losing as a 5'6" striker with 99 physical, 99.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
just logistically, he shouldn't be winning.
Can we just remove height from the cards? Because if height wasn't on there, we would assume that Beckman is God.
Yeah.
Because he is in the game, right? Like, yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you. Like, reality, like, I'm not winning a header against a 6'3" guy. Like, I'm not going to do that. It doesn't matter if I punch him in the nuts. Even when he like bends over, he's still taller than me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
so it's just like, because obviously applying sort of logic into the game is what comes up with these sort of comes up with the fuzziness of it, because we're trying to apply some of the logics to goals you do. If you look at some of the goals you see from these situations and try and justify it in your own head, you can't. Like, I conceded a goal to Laird on his like stream, a throw in at the halfway line. His team took 2 touches and the ball's in the net from a throw in at the halfway line, and you're like, the goal was scored just outside the penalty spot because his player received the throw in, first time overhead kicked across to my penalty spot, and his guy scored a volley. And you're like, what can I do tactic wise to stop an overhead open cross from a guy with 70 passing? So like, I should stop using logic and just
don't use logic. Just pretend you're like in an argument with somebody that's just like completely and utterly illogical, and like just move on. Like, okay, that sounds good. I mean, it's kind of like when somebody's attacking from like the left wing, and it's just they're one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper's like, what I shouldn't do is cover the near post. I'm gonna run to the far post and you kick into the wide open net. Like, like sometimes people are stupid.
Hoodwink's got a high level take for you here, Hamez. It wasn't an overhead kick, you donkey.
You donkey.
I would then question how he's looking at the guy taking the throw in, right? He's not facing the other way. He then kicks it this way.
On the dot?
Because how can you tell? Because everybody received the throw in facing the wrong direction.
But how do you know? You can't see his face on the dot.
When the 3D engine eventually comes out, I want them to show how effective the 3D engine is by using that goal that Hamez was scored on as the example. Like, no, but he just didn't have the pixels and the time to space it out. He actually body trapped it, turned his guy, and crossed it across.
No,
because logistically, he can't.
Logistically, like a midget, like overhead kicking fantastically.
They're quite good with the dots when they do take touch, so that the dot like like little, like sort of, it does like the dot moves around. This is the throwing came to the dot, bang, and you're like, yep, I rate this guy. Even you know it's bad when Laird took the piss. Like Laird was pissing himself laughing. That's when I was like, this is my justification.
I just like the fact we're discussing the graphical fidelity of dots, basically.
Yeah.
Gents, unless you've got something else you wanted to add in. The dog is still moaning at me. I don't know if he disagrees with me or you're just being a bit of a dick this evening. That's honestly that's the conclusion I've arrived at.
Looks as though you're talking to your dick right there.
I treat it badly.
There's been months when you've definitely been at points when you've been like this and you've been like stroking it and your arm's been moving and it's been looking
I have been stroking it. Well, if I'm using the length of my arm, I'm not that blessed.
But a question to end on: if you could add anything to the game for a selfish reason, not like progression or game breaking, right? Just for you, no one else, what would it be? Right?
That's not on the agenda.
So like I would have, throwing you under the bus. Like I would have, like Titans Cup have an anthem. I would have just for my home games. I walk out and there's like a theme song when the players walk out, just because it makes no difference to anyone else, and only if you play like Face Me, you would hear the song like walking out.
I want to see the players scrapping.
Was it
the Proclaimers for you?
I mean, 500 miles. That would be outstanding if they walked out to 500 miles.
You're turning it into MySpace. You get to choose your favorite emo song to your team coming out.
That's just my team. No one else can get it.
Yeah,
just my team get. Yeah,
you can do that. You can just load up YouTube, play something in the background as your team are coming out. That's an easy fix.
The other team doesn't get unless I'm FaceTiming the manager that I'm playing. They don't hear it.
No, I think it should be at home advantage. The opponent has to listen to your music, whatever it is, for a full minute. Yeah. And you can't mute it.
That's just like, yeah. I think that would be like quite an entertaining sort of completely selfish, doesn't change the game, but just for me, I get like a walkout song.
I want to see more drama and like really contentious events taking place, like the players scrapping, like all the players at the end of that Brazilian game, were like 23 people got sent off, or like having a go at the ref and getting a booking. I want to see all that being added into it. A dive,
just for
we're
you.
about to tell from the dots then that he's definitely dived.
Yeah, this is just for you though. So it'd be your guys scrapping and getting sent off.
I'm totally on board with that. That'd be really entertaining. I get really involved.
I like
it.
The champion of diamond should have a special pitch, or something.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Something to show off, basically.
I want the next special that they do, like next mid-season special, to be like GTA MFL, where guys are just slaughtering people, and it's just like a battle of attrition to see how many goals are scored. You just completely crush them. So you put your biggest bruisers out there, highest physical, the biggest assholes. Put them all on high aggressive.
Knuckle dusters.
Yeah, and just like when Ledich gets a red card, like you in, he's just like clubbing the dude over the top of the head.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. He's putting sticky bombs on the ball as it's getting to the goalkeeper. All that kind of stuff.
I've got like streaks of rage in my head now when watching a MFL game. That sounds awesome.
Yep.
I'm going to go the opposite way. After last season, I'm just tortured from red cards. So, yeah, enough of that.
Never a red card again in the future.
Yeah.
That works. David?
I'd rather my players dance about like fairies and just score goals,
I'm a simple man. I just want a search box that appears on every single page of MFL, like a global search box.
Yeah, see, that's a good one.
In there and
that's just for you as well.
Yeah, type Kev, type Orange Friday. It automatically brings up their agency, and I don't have to go to like leaderboards or network. Click. Oh my god, it's not there now. But show more. Then it scrolls down again, and to get them all up. But yeah, I want that. Just a global search.
Yeah.
What about
and then you can flex on everyone.
Yeah, Bruce, like a bigger font on screen, sort of like accessibility features.
I don't have anything that I'd want selfishly just for me. I think I'd just like more fluff. Like more
context.
I've said this before. Like I've got a friend who looks at Football Manager and he's like, "Why are you playing Spreadsheet Simulator?" Right? because to him it looks like Spreadsheet Simulator, but to me, like, it's my club's got a ton of history. I can see all its stats, like what season it played. I just like more fluff stuff like
the pageantry of it.
Just a bit of immersion. I think that's
3D stadiums and stuff like that.
Yeah, like
that'd be cool.
Play didn't turn up to training.
Play didn't turn up to training. I have to find it.
It's the night before.
Selfishly, I think that anybody that has won Diamond, MFL should give them a World Cup ticket to the home country of the team that they won it with.
Wonder why you think that. It's interesting. I think at minimum you should be able to put like a star on your shirt.
You know, that way I can fly to Mexico and meet Amrizi, you know?
Sounds like a perfect sponsorship deal for MFL, that for me.
So there you go. So you've got free World Cup tickets, you've got
fluff,
more sex for everyone. Yeah. You've got custom pitch design, search bar.
Hey man, I'm suggesting what the people want.
So selfishly, Bruce wants more fluff.
I'm not sure where we got more sex from. I do think my girlfriend's going to have a few more question marks if that becomes a feature within MFL. It's also very bloke heavy, but fair enough. UK meets up in when again? Let's have a look.
And you want like Beckman running around like the pitch with a pimp hat on, like more sex.
He scores. He gets it from the crowd.
Scoring goals. He's calling in ladies like Magic Johnson used to.
Yeah, customized like players' appearances with extra things. Yeah, I like it.
I like Sid's idea.
Scored, like they extend the halftime time so the guys can take care of business because they earned it. You know, at halftime. So.
Sid had a good idea in chat. So managers to be sent off so you can't tweak your tactics for the next game.
Ooh.
That's a good one.
That'd be interesting. How would we get sent off though? Like, what would we do?
Like microphone. Yeah, microphone on your computer, and if you swear at it, then it's
swear when you can see. Okay.
I might as well just sell it, man. Jesus Christ.
how many games a season would Snake get banned?
Would that like force everybody to have like a designated assistant manager for staff, and like they would have to run the team?
Love that. Yeah.
Right then, gents. I think we're over 2 hours now. I think we can bring this stream to a close. Thank you so much for joining in with that, guys. I know it's a bit impromptu, the agenda that I put together, but hopefully the viewers enjoyed it, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it too. Apparently the dog didn't. I am gonna. You shut up. I'm trying to finish. Thank you. I am talking to the dog, not my knob.
So you say.
Oh, content. David, do you want to finish off this stream? Because at the moment, I'm going to lose my mind with this dog at the moment, and I've gone completely off tangent. So yeah,
just give it a good rub. That normally will satisfy it.
This stream is getting weirder and weirder. I'm getting cheerleaded. Don't mind me, boys.
Right.
Done.
That's longer than last time.
Right. On that note, should we get out of here?
Probably best we do.
Yeah, I'm job hunting at the moment, and I'm doing this on the internet. This is a great move. Let's wrap it up.
Bye.